Good morning, Crossroads South. It is Monday, November 28th. It's an A day today, which means you have red, yellow, and green for your rotations and your A day encores. But guess what? You might think that I'm outside of Crossroads South right now, but guess what? I am not. I'm actually not even in the United States. So I am coming to you from a very special location for these announcements, and it's from Canada. Yep. That's true. That's where I am today. So I'm coming to you from the capital city of Canada. It's called Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital city of the whole country, Canada, but it's also the capital of Ontario. So behind me is the Parliament building. And I'm here. We took lots of tours and learned all about the Canadian government. I'm here, and this is the center block, which is where most of the government takes place. But as you can see, the cranes are here on both sides, and it's being completely renovated. So things have been moved around quite a bit. I'm going to flip around here. This is the West Block, which is currently the home of the House of Commons. Very similar to the U.S. government, but not as similar as I thought. The House of Commons is just like our House of Representatives, and they are voted in by Canadian citizens, and there's representation based on population from each of the 13 provinces and territories. But then we flip around and we have the East Block, which is usually home to the Senate. The Senate is very different than the United States. Here in the United States, we vote for our senators, but here in Canada, they don't. They're actually appointed by the Prime Minister. Now, this building is under huge construction as well. They said it's actually starting to fall apart, so the Senate is located in a different building altogether. And this entire construction project is going to take about another 8 to 10 years. I can't even believe it. But I was able to peek over this fence and see there's huge renovations happening. It's really cool being down here in downtown Ottawa and here at the Parliament Hill, because I got to see a lot. There's a Centennial Flame that's back here. If you take a peek, there's a lot of people there. They probably wonder what I'm doing right now. The Centennial Flame is there. And if you look off to the side, there's this other building, which is really fancy. And that's actually home to the Prime Minister's main office. Usually there's an office in the center block, but they said it's mostly ceremonial and that's just where they take pictures. But he is actually on the second floor, and his name is Justin Trudeau. And he's sort of like our president, except we vote for our president. Here in Canada, he or she would be a member of the House of Commons, sometimes not, and then they're voted in by their constituencies there, and they're voted by the rest of the members of Parliament. So very interesting to learn all of that. It's different than us, and their term is at His Majesty's will, because this is still governed by royalty, the monarchy. So it's very interesting. Lots and lots of statues here of Queen Elizabeth, which they are quick to change over to King Charles, given that the monarchy in England has switched over from Queen Elizabeth, as she just passed recently, to King Charles. So we were able to take a tour today too and see that the king actually has land here in Canada that is owned by him and the monarchy and the royal family. And when he comes to Canada, or anybody from the monarchy, they stay at that residence. They stay over there, and it's called Rideau Hall, and it's really cool. The other cool fact is that you always learn about the history of a country and how they see history. So if you study the War of 1812, the U.S. has a very different perspective on the War of 1812 than the Canadians do, because this was owned and run pretty much by the UK. So at that time, they had built this canal, which now runs through Ottawa. It's called the Rideau Canal, and they built it to hopefully keep the Americans out. So a lot of fun facts that we're learning here. Another cool thing about Canada that I've learned from being here is that they no longer use the penny. It's gone. They don't use it anymore. So I have a couple of pennies from when I was a little girl that I've kept, but they don't even use it. So if their price rings up something, like the other day I got a bottle of water and it rang up with the cents being like 28 cents, you just give them 30 or you give them 25 and it comes out in the wash. They don't even care which way you round it up. So very interesting that way. So this typically would be like our Washington, D.C. in the United States, and it would be like that here. So this is very cool that we get to see this Parliament building. Isn't it gorgeous? The other fun fact, of course, that I like to share is that I was born here. So it was cool coming back to see the place that I was born and to be able to share that with you this morning. So now let's talk about Crossroads South and some of the news from Crossroads South. Just a quick reminder, we're starting into this week, and next week we will be starting up clubs, which will be starting. So make sure that you check your clubs. You have to be registered for a club. There are a few clubs that are still have plenty of openings and some that don't. Mr. Kimmick will send out an email just letting you know which ones are still available if you'd like to join that club. Don't forget to check the afternoon announcements for sports today, as well as when the rehearsals will be for the spring musical. We know that's getting started as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yes, there's something really important. Trimester 1 ends December 13th. So make sure that you are getting on there and checking your grades. Make sure that your grades are a good reflection of you. Remember, school is for learning. So we want to make sure that you are all set for Trimester 1 and really take a look at what else needs to be done or anything that's missing so that you are all set for Trimester 1. December 13th is the last day. This is also a huge reminder to get your patterns forms in. For your literature teachers, get those patterns forms in so that they can count for Trimester 1. And soon we will be scheduling our patterns assembly, which is a whole lot of fun. If you have not experienced it, it's a big giant pep rally that's in the gym, and we have lots and lots of prizes. I believe that's everything, so I wish you an awesome day. I hope you have a lot of fun. I'm going to be traveling back later today, and I will definitely see you in person tomorrow. And for right now, make sure that you're really kind to Mr. Bohm, Mr. Kimmick, and Miss Hinson, because they are running the show today. All right, au revoir from Canada. Let's stand to salute the flag, even though there's no United States flag here. I'll still do the salute to the flag. We'll pretend there's a U.S. one, but I know you have them in your classrooms. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I do have to laugh because everybody's looking at me like I'm absolutely nuts because I'm saluting an American flag that's not here in this country. That concludes the morning announcements. Have a fantastic day.